Good evening, everybody. David Paul here in the KHOU 11 Weather Center on is it a Tuesday afternoon or a Wednesday afternoon? It's Tuesday. It's a Tuesday afternoon. I love the clouds after a thunder shower on a summer day in Houston. We've got cloud debris all over the place, so we have low, mid-level, and high-level clouds. You can see all the roads are wet here across Herman Park and on the tracks all the way down into the Med Center. Had a couple of showers come through. Things have settled down here right now, and we're in the process of everything just kind of settling down. As we go into Wednesday, which is tomorrow, 30% chance for scattered showers again to bubble up in the heat of the afternoon. Thursday, a 30% rain chance. Friday, a 30% rain chance as well. So very typical, very monotonous summer pattern. It'll be hard to tell the difference from day to day as we go through the rest of this work week. The only thing that really is getting a little bit more dynamic is the tropics. We have several spots to update you on out there, and we'll get to that in just a moment. High temp today did go to 96. 96 is normal for this time of the year. Record high is 103, set back in 1964. Record low is 64, set on this day in 1891. Now, in 1891, the station of record, the thermometer of record, was near downtown, right on the banks of Buffalo Bayou, where they were loading and unloading textiles and product in and out of Houston, coming in and out of what would eventually be the heart of Houston, Southeast Texas, the ship channel. Air quality. Now, this could have been a bit of an issue today. We did have an air quality alert in effect for abundant sunshine, very light winds, and sometimes that'll cook the atmosphere and create a lot of O3, of ozone, but that has not happened today. This is where, if we're going to get bad, it usually happens near the ship channel and near where there's a lot of the industry on the northwest side of Galveston Bay, Baytown to League City. But we're in the good to moderate range here, so we've avoided that today. Just a gorgeous sky. You go outside, you can look anywhere right now, and it's a combination of pockets of blue and then cloud and storm debris left over from rain and thunder showers that in spots are still going. Fort Bend County, you guys are still got a pretty good thunder shower going. We'll get to that in a second. Galveston's 87 right now. Bush is 90 after, again, a high of 96. Sugar Land is 79. That is a rain-cooled 79. Look how Wharton's at 90 and Bush at 90, so we know it's raining near the Sugar Land area right now. It feels like temperatures aren't too terribly bad. Feels like 98 in Tomball. Conroe feels like 98. Brenham feels like 99. Galveston is just showing off right now. Beautiful beach afternoon and evening in Galveston. Pleasure Pier, the roller coaster is going. Good evening, Galveston. Okay, the radar. So as we went through the 3, 4, 5 o'clock hour, had some pretty good thunder showers, just basically cruising down I-10 east to west, came through downtown. And now most of that activity has come to an end except for this batch of thunderstorms, which continues to get Sugar Land wet. And then just north of Richmond-Rosenberg, good thunderstorm going on right now just past Pecan Grove. You guys are getting rain and thunder right now, Pecan Grove. That should continue to push south toward 36. So perhaps from Richmond to Orchard, you'll end up getting some of that activity if it holds together. We're nearing the time of the evening where thunderstorms can go from strong to nothing in about 10 to 15 minutes as we're losing the heat of the day. So that's the last real strong storm going. This shower now just drippy and drizzly near Bel Air, south side over the Med Center. The rain coming to an end there. We were looking at that from the Zaza just a minute ago. And a couple of little showers weakening, one near Deer Park. And there's that ship channel, which is right now mostly clear from rain. Future track takes us into 8:30. Everything's settling down overnight tonight, just a typical warm, sticky summer night. And it's very common summer mornings in Houston to see scattered showers near the coast. Unless we have a heat dome on top of us, which we do not, we end up with these scattered showers near the coast. And then what they'll do is slowly work their way inland as we go through the afternoon. So that's 7:30 in the morning. We go into lunchtime, a few showers still near the coast, but watch as I put this in motion. The sea breeze, you can kind of see how they come in on a bit of a line. There they come. Everything lifts in. Scatter showers and thunder showers get into Houston and Harris County by the time we get into 3, 4, 5 o'clock. So basically, we will repeat what we had today tomorrow across the area tomorrow afternoon, and so on and so on and so on for the next several days, even into the weekend. This is going to be the daily pattern. All right, to the tropics. And it is interesting how quite often the moment we get into August, it can be like just turning on a switch and the tropics get busy, and things are getting much busier out there. We are here August the 5th. You can see that statistically we're right on the edge of a big ramp up in activity that peaks September 10th. And then after that, it falls off quickly, but still busy part of the season from September 10th all the way into October, a secondary peak late October, and then it falls off as we go into wintertime and things begin to settle down. Forecast from Colorado State University, and this is their mid-season update. They're going to go for 16 named storms. Last year, normal is 14. Last year we had 17. Forecasting for 8 hurricanes and 3 major hurricanes, so near to slightly above normal activity overall is what they're forecasting. The problem with these forecasts is that you can forecast 16 storms, but we don't know where they're going to form or where they're going to go. So regardless of how many storms are going to be, we just have to watch it one day at a time, and literally it's all day, one day at a time, because things can change in 24 hours out there this time of the year. So far, we've had 4 named storms: Andrea, Barry, Chantal, and Dexter. And for example, Dexter, this one formed over the weekend. It was not forecast to develop, and yet it did. And that is Dexter right there, formed northwest of Bermuda. Now it's moving to the northeast, moving away from land. This spot, 40% chance for development. This wave has a 50-50 chance for development, says the Hurricane Center, as it moves into the open Atlantic over the next several days. So let's take a look at all of this. First of all, Dexter is a minimal tropical storm, winds at 40, moving northeast at 13. That forward motion will accelerate as it's caught in the upper level winds as it heads into the North Atlantic, and eventually that low pressure area will head toward Great Britain in about a week and a half and give them some weather. So that's Dexter, and there goes Dexter. Dexter's an interesting structure. There's a trough dangling away from Dexter, and on the tail end of that trough, models suggest we may get development. A little bit of a low trying to cut off down here off the Carolina coast of Charleston and Myrtle Beach as we head into Thursday, August the 7th. So the orange is the hash-marked area that the Hurricane Center's marked off as an area they'll be watching for the possibility for development toward the end of the week. And then underneath it, the model's suggesting we're going to get a closed low out here. So the two match up, and thus the 40% chance for development. Now, yesterday, looking at this, it looked like what developed here maybe wanted to kind of move to the west, perhaps into the Carolinas, and perhaps bring some flooding rains to the mountains of North Carolina. We're concerned about that because last year it was a tropical system that caused a tremendous flood in the mountains of North Carolina. As we look at updated rainfall totals for the Carolinas from this system, the coast gets most of the rain, and right now models they've backed off some on the rain totals for areas like Asheville in the foothills of the Appalachians in the mountains of North Carolina. Yesterday we had a lot more 3 and 4 and 5 inch rain total possibilities here today. We're on the lower end of 1.5 to 2 inches of rain. That's good. We don't want them to get flooding like they had last year, but it's something we're keeping an eye on. Even a weak tropical system coming in can dump flooding rains in a hurry. Even the weak ones can do it. But for the moment, this doesn't look like a flood. It is something we will keep an eye on for you. Out in the open Atlantic, and really across the entire basin from the Gulf to the Caribbean to the open Atlantic, sea surface temperatures are running a little bit above normal for this time of the year. This is the sea surface temperature anomaly map, and you get into the yellows and the light oranges where we are. It says that we're getting about 1 degree or 2 or 3 above normal in spots for this time of the year. So the point is there's plenty of warm water out here. But just because you have warm water does not mean you're going to have a lot of hurricanes. It's just sort of a prerequisite. So there's enough energy across the entire basin. What you need is a vigorous, strong tropical wave to get things going. And this is a fairly strong wave, but watch how I put this in motion. Watch the orange and reds here. This is the spin forecast, and right here it moves. It tries to get organized. That's Friday. And then as we go into Sunday, it just kind of falls apart and becomes elongated. You need them to be focused into a tight, low pressure area to develop. This elongates, becomes an open wave. So that's likely not going to develop, says the models. It was showing the same modeling yesterday. So we're getting a little more confidence that that is going to be the result of that. However, right on its heels is another area of spin, a more vigorous tropical wave that will emerge off the west coast of Africa in a few days. And by the time we get to August 10th, it's here. This one, notice how Models have it much tighter, much more organized. So that's a better candidate to perhaps become a tropical depression or tropical storm as we head toward August the 12th. Now, even by August the 12th, it would be 500 miles from the entrance into the Caribbean, the Lesser Antilles. So we have a lot of time to watch this, and none of these systems show at the moment any sign of impacting the Gulf of Mexico. So for now, we're able to watch, but things can change in 24 hours, so we keep an eye on it very carefully. One thing working against development out here is the dust. Dust continues to come off of the west coast of Africa. That dust, again, is a sinking, dry layer of air. Exactly the opposite of what you need to get systems going. You need moisturizing air to get a tropical system going. That's sinking dry air. So as long as that's out there, it can suppress the amount of tropical development we get. Back to home, Wednesday, 20% chance for a scattered shower in the morning through noon, 30% chance for afternoon thunder showers. Tomorrow afternoon, high temp goes to 97, and then it's mid to upper 90s, but some of us will get cooled off with a 30% chance for scattered showers Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and they'll tell two friends, and they'll tell two friends, and so on, and so on, and so on. It stays that way through the weekend. I like the afternoon thunder showers, but if you got activity, it could get in the way. So we watch a typical summer pattern here as we keep an eye on the tropics for the next couple of weeks as we move into the busy part of the season. That's where we stand. Have a beautiful evening, everybody.